right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with sit, and I always start with sit in week 1 of basic, primarily because most people have probably already been working on this. If you haven't, it's okay. It was not a prerequisite. Don't freak out. But generally, most people have played around a little bit with sit. It's okay if your sit's not consistent. That's what we're going to kind of help you work on today. But I have found that working on a behavior that people have already kind of started working on, when I'm adding all of these words and the timing and the way of using these words, is helpful for you guys, because at least the dog kind of knows what they're doing as I'm teaching you all these fancy words and when to use them. So for demo in my virtual classes, I show videos. So I'm going to go ahead and get my sit video pulled up. We're all going to watch. I'm going to add a couple of little bit more comments after the video ends, and then you guys are going to practice, and I'll come around and spend one-on-one time with each of you. So give me 1 second and let me get the video pulled up. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a sit. The most important thing when we're teaching any behavior is that we are only saying our cue word one time. The worst thing we can do, because our dogs don't come pre-programmed with English, is repeat our cues over and over. So for example, sit, 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 sit. When we do things like that, it teaches our dog that we have to say sit X number of times in order to get them to sit. So the first step is going to be to teach our dogs the actual behavior. So by taking my food, all I'm going to do is move it up and over Henry's head. When Henry's bottom hits the floor, I'll go ahead and give him his food reward. You notice that I don't even have to say sit in order to do this. I just lift the food, Henry's bottom moves down, and then the food goes into his mouth. Good job. The only thing I'm going to add to this now is what's called a marker word. So you can use good or yes, or really any word you like. Good or yes tend to be the most common. So with Henry, I'm going to go ahead and use yes. So all I'm going to do is lure him, yes, and then I reinforce with that food. We'll do it one more time. Henry, good. And I lure him, yes, and I reinforce with that food. Once the dog is getting that behavior every single time I'm luring him, then I'm going to add my cue word, which is sit here. So we'll get him up. And I'll say sit, yes, and then I reinforce with that food. And then we'll go again, sit, yes, and then I'll reinforce with that food. If for whatever reason my dog does not sit when I say sit, rather than repeating my sit cue, all I will do is go back to taking the food above his head, bottom will go down, yes, and the food goes in his mouth.
All right, we're going to pause here. Okay, so we're all guilty of it. We repeat our cues over and over again. The problem is that, as I said in the video, your dog didn't come pre-programmed with English, and so they don't know about commas, right? So when we say sit, 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 they don't know that those are all individual words we're just repeating over and over again. They think that's their cue, sit, 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 sit. And so if we keep doing that, and then next time we just say sit, they aren't going to understand that. They know the sit, sit, sit thing, right? So this is the hardest part for the people. We're going to make sure that we're only saying our words. And this goes for every behavior we're going to teach in this course one time. So if you've already been practicing your sit behaviors with your dog, you can skip the very first part of the video where all I was doing was taking my food and luring Henry into the sit. And you can go ahead and say your sit word. If your dog does not sit when you say sit, that's when you will take your food, let them nibble a little bit, and then you move it up and slightly back. When a dog's head lifts up, their booty will hit the floor. In either case, whether you said the sit or you lured them into the sit, as soon as your dog's rear end hits the floor, you're going to use what's called a marker word. I said good or yes in the video. Either of those is fine. Some people will use nice, cool, thanks. It doesn't matter. Pick one word and stick with it. That lets your dog know that they've done something correct. And then you're going to add your reinforcer, your piece of food. Okay. So again, if you haven't done this yet, you start at the very beginning where you lure your dog. As soon as the booty goes down, good or yes, and reinforce. If you have been practicing sit, you can go ahead and say your sit word. Just remember that if they don't do it the first time you ask them to, just take the food and you're luring. So we're never repeating that sit word. It's not a hearing issue for our dogs. It's a comprehension issue. All right. Any questions before we get started? Okay, let's go ahead and have you guys start to work with them. I'll come around and unmute you one at a time and we'll see what we got here. Just make sure your cameras are angled in a way that I can see you working with your dogs. Heather, I'm going to start with you. It looks like Bosa's ready to go.
Okay, Bosa's ready.
Yeah, let's see it.
Sit. Good.
Excellent. You know what's nice, Heather, about you being at your parents' house for this is it helps generalize the behaviors for him. So he's, really good at doing this at home all the time too, but this is good for him to know that it's anywhere. It doesn't mean just at home when I'm practicing, but also when I'm at Grammy and Grandpa's house practicing, it's still the same thing.
That's very true. Yeah,
Yes.
right. With a lot more distractions here.
Yes, exactly. A completely different environment. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No,
good.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, good. Let's have you do one more with me watching.
Okay, good. Okay, sit. Good.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I can see just fine. Actually, this angle is perfect. This is a good space for this.
Oh, great.
Good.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Keep it up. I'll be back to check on you and Otis in a second. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Good.
you.
Good. You're welcome. All right, Maura, let's see how you're doing with them little legs of hers.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
I know.
Rosie sits.
So, yep. So I'm going to have you keep your lure a little lower rather than
Okay.
up a little high. It's still going to go up and back, but I don't want the up to be as high up as you're taking it. So let her nibble. She's allowed to nibble it. Yep, that's it. And then slowly start to move it up and back while she's nibbling. That's the idea. That's the idea.
Like, I'm thinking about putting my butt down.
Do you have a towel or a mat you could set on the floor instead of the hardwoods?
Yes, I will.
Try that. Sometimes they need a softer surface. Try that and I'll come back and check on you, okay? But the luring you did that time when I was watching, that's much more spot on for what you want to be doing. Yeah. All right, cool. Keep at it. I'll be back. All right, Chelsea, let's see how you guys are making out.
We're struggling.
That's okay. I'm here to help.
So I realize also she's working on like doing this, like she's like become a jumping bean.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm in the kitchen and I'm not paying attention, I'm doing dishes, she like jumps up, like a little spring. She's very bouncy.
That's what poodles do.
So instead of putting her head back, she's like jumping. So
yep, it just means your food's too high. I'm here to help. Let's see what you're doing.
So Ruby, can you sit? Oh no, I'm not gonna give
don't push down. Don't push down. Don't push down. No. Let her nibble the food. And all you're doing is moving it up and slightly back. She can nibble the food the entire time.
Can't get another. Also, today was the very first time she tasted cheese. She's never had a treat before. So
her world has exploded.
I tried turkey. She had no interest. I tried cheese and she's like, this is amazing.
It's the best thing. She's got good taste.
All right. So keep it low.
Yep. So you're still lifting up and over, but you're keeping it low enough that she can nibble. That's the idea, but still up a little higher than what you're doing there. Yeah. So you're kind of off to the one side. So it should be like just right up and over that away. That's too high. So see how her front feet are off the floor? I don't want it that high.
Okay.
That's it right there. That's it. But lower. See, I think what's happening, Chelsea, is when she goes to take it, you're trying to pull it away from her and you're ended up lifting. I don't want that. I want her to take it. Let her nibble it the whole time. This is like there you go. Exactly. Good. Now I know that came as a surprise. So you weren't ready with your marker word, but
no, good.
Now I want you to start to make sure you're using your marker word. So when her booty goes down, good or yes, and then reinforce. Okay, so just make sure if her paws are coming off of the floor, Chelsea, it means that you've lifted the food too high.
Okay.
So just lower it back down again, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
so not letting her jump up. Okay, got it.
Well, she's just following the food. So if she's jumping up, it's because you've lifted the food too high, right? So that's a cue to you that, oops, I got to bring my food a little bit lower.
Okay.
You're still going up and back, but we have a tendency to go up a little too high. And then when you've got a little jumping bean like you do, they're just going to go straight up with it. And by the way, it's really normal. That's what poodles do. They walk on their back legs and they bounce with like springs.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, oh my goodness, and she has a lot of height to it.
Yes, that's what they do. All right, good. Keep it up. I'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Margaret, let's see you guys.
Okay. Sadie, sit.
Good. Let's see another one. That was great.
Sadie, sit. Good.
Good. Your timing of your words, perfect. Very good. Any questions for me on this?
No, I think we have this down.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Keep it up, Margaret.
Thank
All right. Heather, you're welcome. Heather, let's see Otis.
Hey, great. Okay, Otis, sit. Good.
Very good. That was fabulous. Good. Let's see another one. Very good.
Okay,
Where did Bosa
okay.
go? Is he just waiting his
He's
turn?
up on the couch. He's
That's awesome. Uh-oh, you froze up on me, Heather. Let's give her 1 second, see if she bounces back. All right, she's frozen. We'll come back. I'll come back to her. Before everyone take a brief pause, I still have 3 more people. Heather, you're back. Just give me 1 second. You froze up for me. Just give me 1 second. I'll be back with you. So before I finish up with my remaining 3, one thing I just want to add to you what we're doing, you guys, is a hand signal. So your dog did not come pre-programmed with hand signals either. You get to pick and choose whatever hand signal you want. I'll show you some of the ones that people will commonly use. You can use any of them or none of them. It doesn't matter. Just pick something that you like. So common sit hand signals might be this. You could say sit. You could do this, sit. Some people use a fist to the chest, sit. Some people make a fist out here, sit. Some people point to their dog's rear end. That's fine. But if you wanted to use that for lay down that we're going to learn next week, I wouldn't use that for sit because it's a little too close and it could get confusing to your dog. You use this, sit. You probably wouldn't want to, but the point is you can use anything. So pick your hand signal and start pairing it with your words. So I use this. So if I'm teaching a new dog, it would be sit, good or yes, and then reinforce. Okay. So just go ahead and add that to everything you've been doing. Keep at it. I'm going to keep working my way around and let's try Otis again.
okay.
Okay. Let's see
Okay,
another one.
Okay, Otis, sit. Good.
Very good. That's perfect. He's great. And look how well behaved Bose is just waiting his turn. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think Bosa also, he knows kind of when Otis has had not feeling as well.
I see.
So
I see.
Bosa is also a little gentler with him,
That's sweet.
thankfully. But yeah, I mean, he
That's sweet.
adores him. So
Well, you can't tell he's been sick, Heather, because he just looks like he's still just like a happy guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing so
That's
well.
good.
Thank you,
I'm glad.
Sarah.
You're welcome. All right, good. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Caitlin, let's see how you guys are doing.
All right. Come on, Rock. Ready? Sit. Yes.
Perfect.
Nice job.
That was awesome. Let's see one more. Your timing is beautiful.
Sit. Yes.
Perfect. Timing is great. Any questions for me on that?
No, we're good.
Okay, good. Keep it up. All right, Henry, let's see how you guys are doing.
Sit. Good.
Good. That was great, Henry. I like the enthusiasm. That was perfect. Let's see another one.
Sit. Good girl.
Perfect. Excellent. All right. That was great. You have any questions for me on that, Henry?
Not right now.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. All right. Let me meet you back up. All right, guys, let's take a little break. Time out. Very good. That was perfect. Very good. All right. You guys are awesome. So, they're getting the hang of it, right? Putting the booty down makes food go into my mouth. Here's the problem. Well, it's a problem. There are 2 problems that might develop. In the scheme of problems with your dogs, guys, these aren't big problems. That's why I'm putting them in quotes. Problem number 1 is what I refer to as heavy bottom syndrome. These are the dogs that cannot get out of their sits. Once they sit, they're like, I'm just going to hang here. You just feed me, right? You can't get them up. The other problem is what I refer to as squats. These are the dogs who will sit. You'll say good or yes, and you'll treat them. They will then stand up and sit right back down again. Can I have another one? They just want to keep more food, right? And listen, there are worse things. They could be jumping on you. They could be biting you. They could be barking at you. So they're choosing to sit. It could be worse, right? But in either case, we can fix that by adding what's called a release word. And so what a release word does is it lets our dogs know that we're ready for them to get up from that position. So common release words are okay, all done, enough, that'll do. It doesn't matter what you use, use anything you'd like. This is not stay. I will cover stay in week 3, but that's not what this is. So you're not walking away from them and then releasing them. This is simply when I ask you to sit and you're right here with me, you're going to hold that sit until I say, okay. Like, so for example, how you might use this is if you were on a walk, you ran into your neighbor to have a little chat. So you ask your dog for a sit, you're standing there chatting with your neighbor. It's time to leave. You're like, okay, dog gets up and off we go, right? So you're not going anywhere when you're doing this. It teaches really, really easy. So let me pull my video back up so you can watch Henry do it. Okay.
The one last piece to this is going to be adding what's called a release word. So the release word lets my dog know that I'm ready for him to get up. Common release words are okay, all done, free, that'll do, enough. We're going to use okay with Henry. So he's sitting, and I will say okay, and that will help get Henry up. And I'll say sit, yes, and reinforce, okay. Good job, Henry.
Okay. So, oops, hold on. I stopped the screen share and I forgot to actually turn the video off. There we go. Operator error on my part. All right, very good. So it's really easy, actually. As soon as you've reinforced the sit, you're going to immediately take one step back from your dog at the exact same time you're giving their release word. So you notice in the video with Henry, I said okay as I stepped back, but I also did not do this. Okay. I went, okay, right? The tone of my voice went up. That high pitch excitement encourages my dog to come closer to me. Now, if you have a dog who's suffering from extreme heavy bottom syndrome and that doesn't even do it for them, you can just drop a treat on the floor about 3 to 4 feet out in front of them when you step back and say your okay word. Let them get up and take the treat, and that will self-reinforce them for the behavior. And you won't have to do that forever. That's just for them to understand that that word means I need to get myself up. Right now, we're doing it right after we've reinforced the sit. So immediately after we've reinforced the sit, we're releasing them. But what will happen over time, once the dog understands the concept of I hear this word and I stand up, what happens over time is then you can like hold it for a second before you release them. And then you can start to work on holding it for 2 seconds before you release them, and so on and so forth until the dog gets the concept of, oh, I just continue to hold this sit position until I hear that release word. All right. So I know I've just thrown a ton at you in the past 30 minutes and your brains are probably buzzing. It's almost Friday, right? How much juice you got left in your tank? Probably running low, right? But I promise you, the more that you do this, the less you have to think about it. The more it's just going to habitually come out of you. This is how you're going to communicate with everybody. And the next thing you know, you'll ask your significant other to take out the trash. They will. You'll say good or yes. You'll toss them an Oreo cookie. You won't even realize you've done it. This is just how you're going to live your life. And it works, guys, for everybody. It works on everybody. Okay, so just to review one more time before you guys, and you'll also get, by the way, besides the video, I send out what I would call my weekly missions. So not homework, but missions, because missions I think are cooler than homework is. So you'll get a bunch of PDFs from me later tonight too. So you're going to say your sit word. How many times? Just the once. So you got it. And if they don't sit, we're taking that food and we're luring them. Either case, as soon as the bottom goes down, we're going to say our marker word, good or yes. We're going to reinforce that. And then immediately we're going to release them. Okay. And then you can do the same thing, good or yes, and reinforce the release. All right. All right, let's practice one more time. I'll come around and unmute you guys one at a time, and then we'll move on to other things. All right, Maura, how'd we do with the blanket on the floor?
Much better, I think.
Good. Oh, we did.
the
That
heavy
fixed
bottom.
it.
She doesn't-
That's good. And it doesn't mean you're going to have to like go pull out the blanket every time you need her to sit. Just sometimes when they're first learning it, that's helpful. So that's good. I'm glad that that worked for you.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's see it.
This? Good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so the only thing there is just don't pull on her leash, Maura. So just if you say okay and she doesn't get up on her own, just drop the treat about 2 to 3 feet from her so she gets up on her own.
Okay.
So try once more with me watching.
Okay.
Good, she's got that sit, man.
Sit.
Good.
Okay.
That was it. Yes, that was it. Nicely done. Excellent. Any questions for me on that, Maura?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Very good. Excellent. All right, I'll meet you back up. All right, Heather, let's see Bosa.
Okay, all right, sit. Good. Good, Otis.
Otis did it too.
Here's-
He was like, I know this.
Okay.
Yes, good, Heather. Awesome. Good. Let's see one more with Bosa. That was perfect.
Oh, thanks. Okay, sit. Okay, good.
Good.
Okay.
Perfect.
We
Perfect.
worked on that a lot. Yeah.
Good. You can tell. That's perfect.
Great
All
to
right.
have that. Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Good. Keep it up. I'll be back for
Thank
Otis
you.
in a second.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. How we doing, Chelsea?
So.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, ready?
Ah, good.
Good.
Good. That was it. That's much better. Much
When
better.
do I start saying sit again? Like,
I would wait until she's getting it like really fast every single time.
okay.
So if there's Like that time took I mean, it's much faster than it was last time, but I would wait till it's like really sharp. Every time you
Okay.
lift up, she immediately puts her booty down. Then I would start adding your word and I would say it at the beginning. So I'd say sit, then I'd lure, then you're good, and then your food.
Okay. So
Okay.
right now we're not really quite saying sit just yet
Correct.
until the action is happening. Okay.
Correct. No, you're not saying it right now. I don't want you to say it at all.
Right.
Right. But you'd just say you're good or you're yes after
Yes.
she's done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So let's see another one.
it. Okay.
That was good. That's much better. Well done.
Okay. Now you're sitting though.
Yeah, she
Okay.
said I'm good at this. So drop a treat about 2 to 3 feet. There you go. That's
Oh, there we
fine.
go.
That works.
Okay.
That's it. Yep. Yes.
Good.
Perfect. Good. Perfect.
Okay,
That was
good.
it. Exactly. So then you're just going to use your release word to get her up. Okay. You're
Okay.
all done. Perfect. Hey, that was great. That was perfect. You got it.
Yay.
Yay.
Excellent.
Good. Any
Thank you.
questions on that?
No, so we just want to wait till it's consistently happening and then we're adding the word sit.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wait. I mean, you're like this close. You're like
Okay.
this close to adding the word. You're like this close. Like it's going to happen. And like probably by the time when I'm done with everybody, you'd be ready to add the word.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Good. Good. Keep it up.
Thanks.
All right, Miss Margaret. Let's see it.
Okay.
She said, I
Okay.
know this. Good. Let's see another one.
Sit.
Good.
Okay.
Very good. Excellent. All right. Perfect. Good.
Thank
Your timing
you.
is great. You're doing great with the words, Margaret. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Good. Good. All right. It's Otis's turn.
Okay, great. Okay, I want to sit. Good.
Perfect.
Okay. This part, yeah.
So here's what I would do, especially because and this is good too, Heather, because I'm sure you're asking them for things with both of them around as well. So
Yeah.
what I would be doing with this for Otis, since Otis doesn't seem to be quite as he's not responding to the release where Bosa knows it. So he's like up and in your, up and ready to go. So when
Yeah.
you're doing this next, try it again. But
Yeah.
this time when you release, drop a treat off to the side to send I just combined their name. Bosa
Yeah.
in one direction and then drop a treat on the floor for Otis in the other direction.
Oh, okay.
So you mean so that they're
Yeah.
both releasing and kind of moving away from each other. I just don't want you to get the treats too close to each other because it's just not fair for dogs to like go towards each other at the same,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to cause any sort of issues with the food. But so I would just shoot a treat off to the side for a Bosa to get out of the way as you say your release and you release Otis and you can drop a
Okay.
treat for him as well. Just make sure the treats are going further apart. That's all.
Yeah, okay. Good,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay. So let's see another one.
Otis, sit. Good.
Good.
Okay.
That's it. Yes, that's it. Perfect. You got it.
Okay,
Bingo.
you did it. Okay.
That's it.
Great.
Good.
Good
Excellent.
idea. Thanks,
Good.
Sarah.
You're welcome. Any questions on that?
No, we'll
Okay.
keep practicing.
All right. Good. Good. All right. Good. I'll be back. Good
Thank
job. Uh-huh. All right, Caitlin, let's see it.
All right, ready, Rock? Ready, sit. Yes.
Good.
Nice job. Okay, let's go.
Nice. Beautiful. Let's see one more.
ready?
That was perfect.
Ready? Sit. Yes.
Good.
Good boy. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Good. Perfect. Great. Your timing's perfect, Caitlin. Any questions on this?
Only that like he gets very like a crocodile when I'm handing these treats out.
Taking it
So-
rough.
Yeah.
So does it get more rough as you continue to work with him? Does it progress or is it always that way?
No, it's more just that he's more excited about the treat. Like I'm
Okay.
not worried. It's just that my fingertips get a little sensitive. So.
I gotcha. So I would say that what I would do is while you're practicing in class where we're doing a lot of reinforcement, you could reinforce with something that he would lick rather than take with his food. So like a frozen stuffed Kong with something, or
yeah.
like a spoonful, like a wooden spoon of peanut butter that's been put in the freezer a bit and let him lick. And that
Yeah.
can help him understand to start taking with his tongue a little bit more than his teeth and save your fingers at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So try that and we'll see how that goes for you.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, Alicia and Henry, I feel like I'm interrupting a fun wrestling match.
Yeah.
Can I see how the sit's going?
Absolutely. Sit.
Let Ella. Hello.
Good.
Hello.
That was good, Alicia.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Perfect, Henry. That was great. Well, that was awfully impressive. Very well done. Very, very good.
That's it.
Let's see one more. That's it.
Good.
Good. Good.
Oh,
Give her some space for you.
Yep.
that's it.
Good.
Good. Okay.
That's it. Nicely done. And with a high distraction. That was good. Any questions for me on that, you guys?
I do have a question about the getting them to hold.
Yeah.
So how is it not confusing for them that we're treating them to sit and then treating them again when they're not sitting?
Because we're marking each behavior. So that marker word communicates that the last thing you did was correct.
Okay.
Right.
So,
So I say sit, my dog sits, I say my good. That's my dog saying, okay, I did that correct and I'm getting food. I say, okay, my dog does. I say good. And then that's my dog going, oh, cool. That okay word means I get up and I did that correct.
okay. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you guys, good. Come on back. That was great. So that's how we're going to teach everything in this course. You'll be saying your cue word one time. You'll be luring if they do not perform the behavior. And that's the biggest thing. So moving forward, when you guys are practicing this week on your own, that's the most important thing. If you forget everything else, remember, don't say your cues more than once, because that and not using your marker word are the two things that are the most detrimental to breaking down the communication between yourself and your dog. So just make sure you're only using your words once. That means when you guys get outside to practice this and there's squirrels running around, this is a very, very distracting time of year. Everything's coming back to life, right? So if you say sit when you're outside and your dog is distracted, don't say it again. That's taking your food and it's luring. So remember,